Hi, I'm Don Schumacher, President and CEO of the National Hospice and Palliative Care Organization, and we're talking about hospice care. Many people say to me over the years, when do we begin hospice care? When is it time for us to make that telephone call? And I must tell you that really, most interestingly, the time to sort of begin that is now. Even though you may not have an imminently terminally ill person in your family, it would be always important for you to do some of the research necessary to figure out what the illness is, what the trajectory of the illness is, and what we might want to think about in looking at planning for an inevitability if somebody in your life is in fact terminally ill. You can look at a variety of websites. Ours specifically, nhpco.org, can give you a whole bunch of information about things you might want to consider about hospice care and the opportunity for you to make the referral. Oftentimes people say to me, why didn't we call hospice sooner? Our doctor didn't refer us until the last 2 or 3 days of my mother's life, and that was really, really terrible. She would have been a much better pain and symptom management had she come into hospice sooner. And that, unfortunately, is too often the truth. About 1/3 of the patients, 33%, come in and die within 7 days of hospice care. They get wonderful care, they receive wonderful service, but they oftentimes find that it arrived a little bit too late to avail themselves of the full range of benefits that hospice care can provide. So not waiting too long is very important. If you have the sense that the patient or in your life or yourself is really facing a terminal illness, then it really is time for you to reach out. First, begin with your physician. Ask your physician if it's time for a hospice conversation. If he or she agrees, then proceed with that conversation. If not, go to the website, gather some information and some data, talk with your loved ones around the family kitchen table. Sometimes these conversations are difficult and painful, but oftentimes they're very clarifying because they help the individual patient make sure that what it is that they want to be done for them is front and center in the family and everyone knows about it. If you have questions about this and your physician is not willing or able to talk with you about this, then make sure you ask to speak with a hospice professional when you call so that that individual can give you some information as well. Sometimes we all know physicians have a very hard time making this referral, and sometimes the diagnosis is so unclear they're not exactly sure the hospice is ready for this opportunity themselves. So the thing to do is to gather some additional information. If your doctor tells you that perhaps the patient is not ready for hospice, avail yourselves of palliative care consultations at your local hospital. Doctor, nurse, social worker, pastoral care can provide you with some consultation and help you with decision making as you go through the process of being treated for your illness before you're eligible for hospice care. There is some research that shows that a patient who comes into hospice lives on average about 29 days longer when compared to patients who have similar diseases and illnesses. So not only is it beneficial for you to get the kind of support services that are necessary, but in fact, it may provide you with a more comfortable and longer-term life here as you're moving through the process of dying. Next, we're going to talk with you about how hospice care is paid for.